everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Why I Love Flagler County, your local podcast spotlighting local businesses and local residents on why they like being in Flagler County. Today, I'm super excited to have my guest, Kay Flick, with us today. Thank you so much, Kay, for taking a few minutes and coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Macy.
Of course. Well, Kay and I know each other through the local Palm Coast, the BNI chapter. And it's been really great. I'm sure if anyone's seen maybe one or two of the episodes, I've had a few BNI people on recently, which is, I think, a testament to how giving this group is and how excited they are to talk about their businesses. So I was thankful enough to witness Kay had a kind of a mini 7-minute presentation at one of the BNI meetings a few weeks ago. And it was really great to learn a little bit about, where she came from and then what inspired her business and how she helps people. So I'll let her kind of get into that, but I'm super excited that you chose to take a few minutes and come on today.
Well, thanks. Thanks again, like I said, for having me.
Of
Um,
course. Yeah.
so we just moved to Palm Coast in April this past year.
Wow.
So I'm from, excuse me, originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. Lived there pretty much my whole life in that area, and was in BNI up there. So that's
Okay.
kind of what why I
Yeah.
joined down here. But I refinish furniture and paint cabinets as my primary business. So I started doing that. Actually, for a business, I started doing it in year 2020, but I've been doing it for myself for about 15 years.
Wow.
So I just didn't realize that you could really do it for other people,
Mm.
that was a need. I had someone approach me and asked if I could refinish furniture. And I said, yeah, I've been doing it. I can do it. And then I had another friend ask. And so it kind of snowballed from there. So that's kind of how I got started in it.
Hmm.
But we moved to Palm Coast. We've always wanted to come down to this area to retire. And we were looking more in St. Augustine area, but then saw Palm Coast and really liked it just because of it's a smaller town, has a nice small town feel, but there's
Hmm.
everything's within, 20, 30 minutes. You can get everything that you need.
Right.
It's like being on vacation every day. So we love it.
I would attest to that for sure. And I think it's funny that I think 20 minutes is like far for Palm Coast, but like
Mhm.
those of us who come from like the bigger places, like 20 minutes is like, yeah, that would make sense. But it's like,
Yes.
oh, you're all the way on the other side of town. You're so far. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
no, it's fine.
Nothing at all. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And that's
We're used to.
awesome. Yeah, you touched a little bit on, what brought the whole business. Like you said you'd been doing it. What what kind of inspired you to even start like 15 years ago on even just doing it for yourself? Like what did you like, oh
Well,
yeah, this is something I can do.
I just had some furniture that I really liked, but I didn't like the color. So
Mm,
um, my dad was in construction his whole life, and he built furniture. He was in commercial construction. He built houses. He built decks, additions, whatever. So I've always been around it. And my mom was always real crafty. She always did a lot of painting and different things like that. So I kind of came about it naturally. But so I just saw a piece of furniture, and I was like, well, I can just change it. I mean, I like the bones, just don't like the outside. So that's
yeah.
kind of what started with that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just fell in
Snowball.
love with
That's
it.
so cool. I'm sure having, a dad in construction who maybe, I don't know how much he talked about work around you guys growing up, but I mean, I imagine knowing the understanding of how things are built in
Oh yeah,
general helps so much because it's like, all right, well, I know I can't touch this. I know I can touch this and stuff like
right.
that. I'm sure just like it's more natural than maybe for some other people.
Yeah, we always had projects going on around the house, so
Mm,
all the time.
that's so cool.
So yeah.
Is there a project that you're maybe especially like proud of or that you love? You're like, I think this was a really great job that I did. I really enjoyed doing it.
I have a couple of them, and a couple of them that I've actually taken an old piece of furniture and repurposed it.
Okay.
So a lot of people have the big armoires, TV cabinet type things, and
Mm-hmm.
they're really big, and TVs nowadays don't fit in them. Their
Right.
TVs are huge and mostly mounted on the wall. So I've taken a couple of those and actually converted them into a coffee bar slash wine bar for people, added, holders and lights and different things, and just made them still functional because they're good
Yeah.
storage. But they just really weren't,
Yeah.
needed for what they were intended.
Definitely.
Um, that, and then I also, my grandson's 2 years old, and I converted a old nightstand and cut the top drawers out and made it like a bench. So it has I left the bottom drawer in for, he could put his books in there, but then I put a little seat on it so he can sit and read his books. So that was kind of cool. But
That is super cool. That's awesome. So I'm sure your mom's like craftiness kind of passed down to you from that. Because I think if I looked at a piece of furniture, I could not imagine of what
yeah.
anything else to do with it. So that's
Yeah,
super cool that you're able to like, you listen to the client's needs and you're like, I can do this. I can completely repurpose this into something
right.
unrecognizable but well needed.
For sure. Yep. Yep.
That's super cool. That's awesome. How have you liked, you said you only moved here in April, which is a very short time. It's not even a year
Right.
at this point, of recording. How have you liked working down here in the Flagler area?
I like it a lot because I feel like there's a lot of ways to get connected down here.
Hmm.
Like I said, being from Charlotte or the Charlotte area, I actually was in Fort Mill, South Carolina, which is just a little suburb.
Hmm.
But being in that area, it's a bigger town, which it has its advantages, but it also has its disadvantages because I feel like here there's a real sense of community, and there's a lot of places that you can get plugged in where I didn't
Hmm.
feel like it was as easy to get plugged in because Charlotte was so big.
Right.
So I think it's beneficial. It's helped me,
Yeah,
just kind of
definitely.
transition my business down here. So,
I'm feeling the same way because I came from Michigan and
okay.
I came from a suburb as well, but just the area, all the surrounding areas were so big that I
Mhm.
had never had that small town feel. But coming down here, it's been a complete like 180 for me in kind of the best way possible of really bonding, like you said, with the community.
Yeah.
So I know BNI is a way that you connect with people. What other ways would you maybe recommend other people, maybe in Flagler, maybe wherever they may live, on how they can get a little bit more active in their community, places they can
Yeah.
go reach out?
There's a lot of groups I've found on Facebook for business owners. I'm in two women's group,
Mm-hmm.
Professional Women of Flagler County and the Boss Lady group. There's also a Bold Lady group. There's the Ladies of Flagler County. So there's a lot of women's groups. I'm sure there's other groups that are not just
Right.
specific women, but that I think that's the best way. The chambers are a really good way to get in contact with people. Um, so I feel like I said, there's a lot of different groups that you can get plugged in, a lot of different ways. I feel a lot of different opportunities. And like I said, everybody seems so welcoming that it's not,
Yeah.
it's not intimidating at all to go to something like that being new.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned a few different women groups, and like you said, there are definitely other groups for more generalized networking as well. And I think kind of the beauty of having so many is I know people get intimidated, but the whole point is that you're supposed to find your people.
Right.
So if it takes you a few visits at one group or a few visits at a few different groups, it's really just ultimately for you to find that crowd, like, okay, I fit in. This is a group where I can contribute, but I can get something out. And that's just kind of something through trial and error that you end up figuring out. And then
Right.
I think even in this sometimes errors, you do end up finding great connections, even if the group doesn't work out itself.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Awesome. Well, okay, thank you so much for coming on and sharing a few minutes. I really appreciate it. What is the best way if anyone was looking to learn more about what you do or how they can contact you? What is the best way they can reach out?
Like I said, my business is furniture, facelifts, and more. I do have a Facebook and Instagram page and a website. And all my contact information is on there. If you contact me, you're going to get me. If you fill out a form or call a number or whatever, you're going to get me. And I do provide free estimates for anything. And just like if somebody has just a question about, hey, what do you think about this? I'd be happy to talk to people. But
Perfect.
and I don't just, I wanted to point out, I don't just paint furniture. I've taken a lot of older furniture and cleaned it up and repaired it, just to restore it to its original
Great.
beauty. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of different things you can do. It's not just
Yeah.
limited to a few.
Of course. I that makes total sense. And I know that when you shared your presentation at the BNI group a few weeks ago, you had shown a bunch of examples and they were all just stunning. And I
I
think
think,
definitely with like this era of like again, I think my generation kind of shepherding in and owning their own places. We have generational stuff that we're like, we don't know what to do with this. I feel like we need
right.
a better way of understanding, or maybe just in general, to get like, I feel like this could be better used in something different. that's where you come in. This is where you share your vision, and this is why we'll call on you. So
Thank you.
I'll make sure I have all the information in the description so people can click on that a little bit easier. But again, thank you, Kay, so much for coming on and sharing a few minutes. Is there any last thing you kind of want to throw out there before we wrap it up?
No, like I said, I mean, like I said, I just really am passionate about what I do and want to help people. And if, if you have any kind of need, you think I can help you with, just don't hesitate to reach out.
Perfect. I think that makes total sense. And thank you so much, Kay, for coming on and sharing a few minutes. Again, I think I said that 3 times, but it's okay.
Okay.
I'm appreciative. I hope you
Thank you.
understand. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you all next time.